So I'm gonna make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you.
Diddy's son just publicly put out a hit on 50 Cent. And I'm not kidding. Christian Combs literally tweeted that if he ever sees 50, he's going to slap him. And that's not even the craziest part. Multiple celebrities are now allegedly trying to take 50 Cent out after his Netflix documentary dropped. Obviously, according to fans, and the names involved will blow your mind. Look, this isn't just some internet beef anymore. 50 Cent is getting threats from multiple sides. And some of these people are seriously desperate to shut him up. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly which celebrities are trying to silence 50, why they are so scared, and what they are willing to do to make this documentary disappear. But first, you need to understand why everyone's freaking out. 50's documentary about Diddy just hit 21.8 million views in only 6 days. That's right, it beat Stranger Things on Netflix. And this isn't just some gossip show. This thing has never before seen footage, private phone calls, and people who work with Diddy for decades finally speaking up. So yeah, certain people are panicking right now. And 50 is exposing every single one of them on Instagram with zero filter. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Okay, before we dive into the drama, let me give you the full picture of what's actually happening. 50 Cent spent 2 whole years making this documentary. 2 years. He got footage of Diddy in the days right before his arrest. We're talking private conversations with his lawyers, people from Bad Boy Records telling their stories, and allegations about some seriously dark stuff. Alright, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question, and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject. Period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So, please look at the whole clip that I did and then look at what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Your people don't be sheep. Use your brain. It's your freedom of thought, freedom of speech. And don't ever let nobody bully you.
Cent put out this Diddy doc, and Marlon was asked about this Diddy doc on, what is this, 92.3, okay, in LA, and they asked him, did he watch it? And he said he was Diddy'd out. Let that, pretty much saying, yo, that man is already doing time, and he said 50 Cent gotta be careful because, you know, he gonna get his karma. Something to that effect. What you got to say about that?
F you, the boat you ride on, anybody look like you got your last name and roll on that boat with you. You feel me?
Correct.
I'm picking a side, bro. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking a side. I'm not giving no dude, you understand, that I'm against a chance to ever do anything against me again. I'm not giving him, he don't got no side, bro. You know, anybody on his side is against me.
Understood.
And I'm going on that premises for the rest of my life. If you like a that I hate.
The documentary covers everything. The parties, the allegations, and even claims about what happened to Tupac and Biggie. I mean, this is heavy stuff. And now that it's out there for millions of people to see, certain celebrities are losing their minds trying to get it taken down. Some are allegedly trying to bribe officials just to keep their names away from anything Diddy related. And 50 is not backing down. He's posting receipts, calling people out by name, and making it clear that he's not scared of anyone. So, let's get into who's trying to stop him and why. Let's start with the biggest one. Diddy's son, Christian Combs, literally tweeted about my dad. If he ever sees 50 Cent, he'll slap him. Like, are you serious right now? This kid actually thinks he can threaten 50 Cent and get away with it. And you know what 50 said back? Lil bro, first close your damn mouth. I'm sorry, but that's hilarious, because what is Christian actually going to do? This is the same guy who tried to fight Ray J 3 times and couldn't even land a punch. 3 times, and he failed every single time. But wait, it gets better. Christian didn't just threaten 50 on Twitter. Oh no, He made a whole diss track about him. A second one, actually, the lyrics went something like, 50 Cent, why you so mad? You that bad? 'Cause you never got a chance to go shopping with my dad. Honestly, I can't even make this up. While Christian is out here making songs that nobody's listening to, 50 is making millions off a #1 Netflix documentary about his dad. And it took 50 way less time to make that documentary than it took Christian to promote his music that, let's be real, nobody's buying. Here's the thing that really gets me. Christian even made a song in his own mother's name, and that didn't help him either. There's no talent there because, well, there was no real talent in Diddy's work either. The documentary even showed how Diddy took years just to write a few bars. He was stealing from everybody. These kids have never paid rent in their entire lives. They don't know what bills are. They've never worked a 9-to-5 job. They don't know what it's like to wait for next month's paycheck. They are spoiled brats who think they can disrespect people just because their father did the same thing for years. And honestly, they're just digging themselves deeper. Every threat, every song, every Instagram post is just making things worse for them. 50 Cent is going to destroy them, and they don't even see it coming.
And, it seems like Diddy's just out there to take, everyone's girl, it seems like. You got her, I want her. Jack, let me ask you, in episode 3, we get to the Kim Porter story and, of course, introduce Cassie. What are your thoughts as far as how they portrayed Kim Porter with this Reckoning documentary?
They didn't portray her at all.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's the thing. They didn't portray her at all. She was spoken for by Kalina. That was interesting to watch, you don't think? Kalina's testimony, she was probably the most pitiful witness they brought up to speak about all of this in the entire thing. Kalina?
Wait, why you say that? She was emotional. She was...
Emotional? That's what you call it?
That's what I'm trying to call it.
Capricorn Clark was emotional. I'll give her emotion. I'm sitting there looking at someone, in my opinion, who appears to be struggling with a substance issue, trying not to fall apart on camera. Meanwhile, nobody paying attention to the fact that she's sitting there afraid to really say anything at all because she's in the middle of a custody battle and she's trying to get her kids back. And she's got to be careful of whatever she says because it could make it impossible for her to get her kids back. Did nobody pay attention to that?
Yeah, no, she said she wanted $5K from Diddy,
she wanted $5K from her former bandmate and a billionaire, and he wouldn't even give her $5K to help her get her kids back. Why not? But then again, nobody's talking about who her husband is and who her husband is to Diddy. He's one of Diddy's #1 minions.
Oh yeah, no, that's news.
He's a loyalist. He is a Diddy do-wop-bop. Kalina's also bisexual, so I'm finding it kind of interesting that she didn't see anything.
Now, let's talk about Diddy's twin daughters because they're getting absolutely destroyed online right now. These two came out and said everyone needs to rise above it and ignore what's going on. They are telling people not to acknowledge the situation. And I'm like, excuse me? Who do you think you are? You watched your father publicly hurt a woman on camera. We all saw that footage and you're still standing there defending him, telling everyone to free him, and acting like victims should just get over it. Are you kidding me right now? The backlash got so bad that they had to turn off their comments. They couldn't handle what people were saying to them. And honestly, I don't feel bad for them at all. Who are they to sit there and tell abuse survivors to rise above it? Your father hurt people. Real people. People who are still dealing with trauma from what he did to them. You know what's interesting? Chance Combs, the only daughter who actually stayed quiet through all this, is the only one I have any respect for. Even during the sentencing, she spoke for her father, but she wasn't dramatic about it. She showed actual maturity. But these twins, they want to go to Kardashian parties and be part of the celebrity world like nothing happened. They care more about their image than about the people their father destroyed. And people are letting them know exactly how they feel about that. Okay, this one shocked me the most. Marlon Wayans really came out and started defending Diddy on the radio. Like, why would you do that? What's the reason? He went on the cruise show in LA and basically said 50 Cent is wrong for making this documentary because it's kicking Diddy when he's down. Then he started talking about karma and how 50 needs to be careful because what goes around comes around. 50 Cent put out this Diddy doc, and Marlon was asked about this Diddy doc on 92.3 in LA. They asked him if he watched it, and he said he did dine out, pretty much saying, yo, that man is already doing time, and that 50 Cent got to be careful because, you know, karma. What do you got to say about that? If you follow me, you understand. Marlon didn't stop there. He actually responded and tried to warn 50 about karma again. He said, if luck turns on him, he's going to regret putting all this out there. And then Marlon took it even further on Instagram. He posted about how 50 is ugly in a suit and his buttons are struggling to keep his body in. He called him fat buff and said is rocking an Easter suit with a Halloween face. Then Marlon posted an old photo of 50 and Diddy in a pool together, like he thought that was going to do something. But here's the thing, why is Marlon so defensive? What's really going on? Even Charlemagne, the god, pointed out the double standard. He said, when TMZ made a Diddy documentary, nobody said anything. When Hulu dropped one, crickets. When Peacock made one, nobody talked about karma. But now that it's 50 Cent, a black producer making the documentary, suddenly everyone wants to talk about kicking a man when he's down. That energy is suspicious. Real suspicious. Now, this is where things get really weird. You just watched 4 full episodes about Diddy's entire life, right? His career, his parties, the allegations, everything. And guess who's completely missing? Jay-Z. Not one mention, not one picture, not even a quick shot of them together at an event. Nothing. Zero. And if you know anything about hip-hop history, that's absolutely insane. Jay-Z and Diddy ran the industry together. They partied together. They did business deals together. There are literally hundreds of photos of them at events. So, why is Jay-Z completely erased from this story like he never existed? Someone on TikTok said it perfectly. They were like, where's Jay-Z? I just finished the documentary, and there's not a single picture, not one mention, no video footage with Jay-Z. What kind of deal did 50 strike with the Carters? And that's a valid question because just a few months ago, we saw allegations involving both Jay-Z and Diddy together. Now, suddenly Jay-Z has vanished from the whole thing. The theory going around is that 50 Cent made some kind of deal with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Maybe Jay-Z agreed to help 50 behind the scenes and, in return, 50 kept him completely out of the documentary. Because let's be real, there's no way you can tell Diddy's full story without mentioning Jay-Z. It's literally impossible. Jaguar Wright even spoke about this. She found it really interesting that there's no Jay-Z mention and no Stevie J mention either. And, you know, it seems like Diddy's just out there to take everyone's girl. If you got her, he wants her. Jack, let me ask you. In episode 3, we get to the Kim Porter story and, of course, introduce Cassie. What are your thoughts as far as how they portrayed Kim Porter with this Reckoning documentary? They didn't portray her at all. Yeah, they didn't. That's the thing. They didn't. She was spoken for by Kalima. That was interesting to watch. You don't think Kalima's testimony? She was probably the most pitiful witness they brought up to speak about all of this in the entire thing. Kina, wait, why? Why do you say that? She was emotional. That's what you call it? That's what I'm trying to call it. Capricorn Clark was emotional. I'll give her emotional. I'm sitting there looking at someone, in my opinion, who appears to be struggling with a substance issue, trying not to fall apart on camera. Meanwhile, nobody paid attention to the fact that she's sitting there afraid to really say anything at all because she's in the middle of a custody battle, and she's trying to get her kids back, and she's got to be careful of whatever she says because it could make it impossible for her to get her kids back. Did nobody pay attention to that? Yeah. No. She said she wanted $5,000 from Diddy and he wouldn't even give her $5,000 to help her get her kids back. Why not? But then again, nobody's talking about who her husband is and who her husband is a Diddy. He's one of Diddy's #1 minions. Oh yeah. No, he's a loyalist. He is a Diddy doobop. Colleen is also bisexual. So, I'm finding it kind of interesting that she didn't see anything. She wasn't around anything. She's been saying for a while now that certain people got themselves erased from this story, and she wants to know how that happened. Is Jay-Z so powerful that he can just disappear from Diddy's history? What kind of strings did he pull? We might never know the full truth, but it's definitely suspicious. Let's talk about Jennifer Lopez for a second, because her silence is loud. Real loud. Remember the club shooting back in the day? J-Lo had a gun in her purse that night. She had gunshot residue on her hands. And there's a woman named Nata who got shot in the face and still has bullet fragments in her skin to this day. All Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white guy, Oscar winner, for people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her purse. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night Nata was shot at that club. For all we know, that bullet came from the gun in her hand. And not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman. Not once has she donated to her family or her medical bills or said something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case. And she still has bullet fragments in her face like she said nothing. Nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall? But it saved her the first time though, didn't it? Because as soon as that club was over, and as soon as they finished interrogating her, when she sat there and cried like a baby, "I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail," Benny Medina put her with that drunk white boy until she ran him off. Like that was going to erase her connection to Diddy and make everyone forget what happened. But here's the really cold part. If J-Lo had spoken up back in the late 90s about what Diddy was really like, Cassie might never have gone through what she went through. Think about that. If J-Lo had the courage to tell the truth about the abuse she suffered, it could have saved other women from years of pain. But instead, she stayed quiet, married a white guy to change her image, and acted like none of it ever happened. That's cold. Real cold. Now, obviously, Diddy's lawyers didn't just sit back and let this documentary drop without a fight. As soon as it went live on Netflix, they went into full attack mode. They sent a cease and desist letter to Netflix calling the documentary a shameful hit piece. They claimed that Netflix used stolen footage that was never supposed to be released. They are basically saying 50 Cent and Netflix broke the law by using private footage of Diddy without his permission, and they are threatening to sue for millions. But here's where it gets hilarious. You want to know where that footage came from? From a videographer that Diddy himself hired. Yeah, you heard that right. Diddy hired someone to follow him around and film everything in the days before his arrest. He thought he was going to beat the case and make his own documentary about how innocent he was. But instead, that footage ended up in 50 Cent's hands. And now it's on Netflix for 21.8 million people to watch. Talk about karma, right? Diddy literally filmed his own downfall. And here's the thing about those recordings. Once you record conversations with your lawyer, you lose attorney-client privilege. Those recordings aren't protected anymore. They can be stolen, bought, or shared. And that's exactly what happened. Netflix probably paid a lot of money for that footage. In those recordings, you can hear Diddy on the phone with his lawyer complaining about how they're losing in the media. He's worried about public perception. He's trying to figure out how to control the narrative. But instead of controlling anything, that footage became evidence against him. It shows him caring more about his image than the actual victims. It shows him plotting with his legal team about how to manipulate potential jurors. It's bad. Real bad. Now, there's an old clip of Ellen and Diddy that's making the rounds again. And honestly, it's disturbing. They're making these weird jokes on live TV that just hit different now that we know what we know. Really? It's not how you play the game. Really? Yeah. Ellen's been keeping a really low profile since this documentary dropped. And people are wondering, what does Ellen know about Diddy's parties? Why is she staying so quiet? The connection is there, and people are noticing. Kevin Hart's reaction has been interesting too. There's a resurfaced video of Kevin partying with Diddy at his event, and 50 posted it on Instagram saying Kevin is nervous about what the documentary might reveal. Got more dye in that beard than Diddy. Alright, that's enough. I know. That's enough. I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain. That's enough. Put a note on it. You can edit that one though. Then there's Mark Wahlberg. There's this clip where he makes a joke about Diddy, and Kevin instantly gets nervous. You can see it on his face. He's like, what else is coming next? And is asking to edit stuff out, begging them not to include certain parts. If you have nothing to hide, why are you so worried? Kevin? That's all I'm saying. Russell Simmons has been posting vague messages from Bali about how people are trying to tear down black icons, and the internet has figured out he's talking about this documentary. But here's the thing. Russell is living in Bali. Why? Because Bali has no extradition treaty with the United States. He can't be arrested there and brought back to face charges. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, predicted this. He said Russell Simmons belongs in jail just like Diddy. Some dude belong in jail based on what they do. We know that to be true. And it's just this situation. Man, when you get down to all the facts and what happened, he may belong in jail, bro. And that's not me saying it. That's not Cassie saying it. That's his doing, and the learned behavior from people that mentored him. You got to realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clive Davis. You understand? These older guys in the industry taught Diddy that he could get away with anything. There's evidence backing that up. Stevie J has been one of Diddy's most loyal defenders. He was literally inside Diddy's Miami house during one of the raids and came out saying all the accusations are made up and that Diddy never broke the law. Then Stevie went after 50 Cent hard. He called him an Uncle Tom and said 50 was betraying his own people by making this documentary. He even challenged 50 to a fight saying, "I'm calling you out, Curtis. What you want to do?" And 50's response? He posted, "Diddy's boyfriend called me a sellout. Is correct. I'm selling out Branson Cognac." Perfect. Comedy gold. Stevie J was also mentioned in Rodney Lil Rod Jones's lawsuit. So 50 posted a screenshot of that headline with a caption, "Whoa, say it ain't so, Stevie J. This is a mess." And Stevie kept going. He said, "Since it's entertainment, let me beat you on TV or something. Don't duck that." 50 laughed it off and basically said, "Good luck getting past security, shorty." It's just comedy at this point. Floyd Mayweather said something really weird about Diddy that nobody asked for. He literally brought it up himself in an interview and said, "I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen." Then he added, "Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But that's a choice my daughter made." Wait, Floyd, nobody even asked you about Diddy. Why are you defending him? And why are you saying that about your own daughter? 50 Cent responded immediately, "Champ, are you stupid or are you dumb? Get out of your head. You sound like a hater." And then he started trolling Floyd about not being able to read. He offered $750,000 to charity if Floyd could read one full page from a Harry Potter book. When Floyd said he'd do it, 50 changed it to Cat in the Hat because, you know, easier words. It's petty, but hilarious. Ray J has been doing some of the most bizarre interviews defending Diddy. He keeps calling Diddy his mentor and close friend. He said Diddy should be cleared of all charges because everything was consensual. Then he said he doesn't even understand what freak-off parties are. He's like, what does that even mean? Is this real? Then he starts talking about baby oil and turning cheek to cheek. 50's reaction? Oh, now I see why they were going to pack Ray J out. He willed in. Bro, I'ma hit Ray and tell him chill. It's just weird energy. Rick Ross has stayed completely silent, just like Jay-Z. But 50 wasn't about to let that slide. He pulled up Ross lyrics from a 2013 track where he said inappropriate stuff. 50 posted a photo of Rick Ross and did it together with a caption, "At some point, you just got to do the right thing." Because of that track, Ross lost his Reebok deal. 50 is reminding everyone that Ross has been connected to Diddy for years, and his silence right now speaks volumes. So there you have it. Christian Combs threatening to slap 50 Cent on sight. The Combs twins telling AB's victims to rise above it. Marlon Wayans starting a whole beef to defend Diddy. Jay-Z mysteriously missing. J-Lo staying silent. Diddy's lawyers trying to sue Netflix. Ellen quiet. Kevin Hart nervous. Russell Simmons hiding in Bali. Stevie J challenging 50. Floyd Mayweather talking out of nowhere. Ray J going wild. Rick Ross staying silent. The pattern is clear. Anyone who defends Diddy or stays silent is getting exposed by 50 Cent. And honestly, that's what needs to happen. So here's my question to you. Who do you think is most desperate to stop this documentary? Do you think Jay-Z made a deal to stay out of it? Why is Marlon Wayans so defensive? And what do you think is going to happen to 50 Cent after all these threats? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over. See you next time.